This segment of Hak5 is brought to you by Domain.com.
Here's what's really cool now about Untangle. See, I'm in this Untangle interface. If I just move this window over, you'll see there's this bar down here, and hey, terminal. Now we do have to set up a password the very first time. It's like our root password, which is different from our admin password to get into the administration interface. But regardless, if you're watching this show, you know SSH, you're comfortable in the command line, and this should be pretty native to us. If not, follow along. And if you need some help on SSH stuff, we did about 10 segments outlining everything possible with them in season 11. So now that we're in our basically bash here, and we ls, we'll see there's a desktop folder, and that is where that config.zip was that we downloaded. So what I want to do now is take this config.zip and put it over on my phone. So scp with a TAC capital P for the port 4444, and then we want to tell it the username, which in this case is DK, at the IP address 10.73.31.187 for my phone, and then colon, which will specify the root of Darren's home on that phone, which we know to be, I just showed it, it was the SD card folder basically. So if I do this and then I say, oh, you know what I forgot after the port? I need to specify the file I'm copying, config.zip. Okay, so this will send the config.zip over to my phone, and it says here's your DSA key fingerprint. We've talked about this in the past. And I'm assuming this is correct. In fact, if I look over here, it will tell me, and I'm happy, so I just say yes, and it was permanently added, and now I give it my password. And there we go. So the file is copied over, and it's a zip file, so now I can go ahead and set it up on my SD card. So the other thing that I want to do is actually SSH in here, because I want to move these files around to be in the right place. So again, from Untangle, or I could just do this within PuTTY on my Windows box, or if you're on Linux, whatever, whatever have you. I'm just going to SSH. Again, in this case with SSH, it's a lowercase p, not SCP with a capital P. Port 4444. And then I want to head over to, again, DK at 10.73.31.187. And CD to SD card. And if I ls star.zip, there's that config zip. All right, that's what I want. Well, you know what? I'm actually going to have to come over to my phone just to make things easy for myself, since I don't have a command line zip utility. I know, right? Over on Android, I just grab one of the free unzip tools, come down to config. I'm going to check that. And no, I don't want to delete it. I want to open the archive, check the folder I want to extract. There we go. All right. And if I come over to my laptop again now, I will see that by ls untangle, there we go. So I have my untangle folder, which I just extracted from that zip. I know. You would think that unzip would be a basic command within Android. You do have gunzip? Yeah, you don't even have gunzip, although you do have gzip. So anyway, that's enough ranting about Android. I mean, I guess it's not made for most consumers to be SSHing into it, but that's what we're doing here. So now that I have it unzipped, I can go into that folder, and you'll see here I have the Hak5 conf, the Hak5 OpenVPN file, as well as an untangle folder. So if I go into that untangle folder, you'll see these are the certificate file, the cert for my user, and the key. And what I need to do is make sure, and I'm going to just move these to ... I'm moving them back a directory. So if I ls again, you'll see they're gone. If I ls to ... the previous directory, and ls, there we go. Now they are in the same folder as hak5.conf and hak5.ovpn. So a little bit of a weird gotcha there. Use whatever file manager you choose. In fact, I might have been able to do that just with my unzip GUI utility on Android. But whichever way you want to do it, you just need to make sure that your OPVN and your conf files, as well as your cert files and your key files, are all in the same folder, because that's the way that the OpenVPN client for Android is going to want them when we import it. So everything is pretty much set up on the OpenVPN side, or the Untangle side. We've got our OpenVPN server up and going. So I'm going to close this and close this. And we see this green light here showing that our OpenVPN server is on and running. We can check out our bandwidth here. We really haven't done much of anything other than download that app. And we could come in here and really go crazy with it with the rest of the features it has. But we're just focusing on OpenVPN now. So let's get our client set up. So I'm going to go ahead and get out of this. And what you'll want is OpenVPN Connect. So I'm in OpenVPN Connect. I'm going to hit Menu and choose Import. And we're going to want to import the profile from SD card. Come down here and we'll find that Untangle VPN folder. And there we go. All of our files that we transferred over. And this is what I like about this is we set up a Untangle server, and then using now locally at the keyboard, we SCP'd the file over SSH over to our phone. As long as those key fingerprints match and everything, we know that we're transferring it securely. I don't see any issues with this setup as far as security is concerned. I feel very confident and comfortable with this. So I like that I'm not like, like emailing a cert or whatever. So if you do email the cert, it will let you download it from an HTTPS site. So again, this is all best practices. The Untangle people have thought about this, obviously, but I just wanted to point that out because it's pretty cool that you can SCP your config straight from the router over to your phone. So with all of that done, all I need to do in OpenVPN client now is to choose my hak5.ovpn file. Hit select, and the profile is imported. You'll see our profiles in this list right here. It already has the IP address of my server. If I go into preferences, you'll see it already has, we can choose our VPN protocols, but it will just figure it out. And it'll figure out DNS and all of the other things that I'd like, which is so great because that's the beauty of OpenVPN is when you package that file up and you send it out to your client, whether it's a Mac, a Linux box, a Windows machine, in this case Android, that OVPN file, those conf files, they have all of the configuration. You as the network administrator setting up this, in this case OpenVPN on Untangle, all of those different settings are just going to be in that setup file. So you don't really have to think about, telling them, oh, use this host name and this password and this username and this Wins server and DNS IP address and all of that stuff. So that's one of the reasons why I really love thinking about it as far as a systems administrator is concerned. That's where it's really powerful. So now, as you might imagine, all I have to do is select my OpenVPN and hit connect. And this is what's new in Android 4.0 is it's going to say, hey, dude, you're setting up a VPN, which means everything you do, all of your traffic is going to go through this. And we say, yeah, we trust that. It's not a, it's not a state-run Iranian VPN. No, it's my own VPN that I set up at home with Untangle. And I hit OK. And we're connected, and boom, we can see how long we've been connected, the packets that have gone through, the bytes in and out, and tap for more details, get our IP address and whatnot. And I can see it figured out the port, the protocol, all of that for me. And I can browse now. And when I start browsing on my Android phone, I'm now going to be going through a VPN that's set up in a virtual machine on my laptop. How cool is that? Yeah, so with all of that said, I really want to know how you guys feel about this, what you guys think. I really thank you for the amazing feedback I got on the PPTP segment. So if you're still using that, get off that. Find yourself an OpenVPN. I like the Untangle way. Adito is pretty great as well. Either way, with this, and I should point out they are a sponsor, but I'd be using this anyway because I love OpenVPN and I use Untangle at home. Untangle.com/hak5 I think is the URL for, they've got discounts and stuff. So check that out if this is of interest to you because they do have pretty cool bandwidth management. That's free. There's a bunch of stuff on here that's just free. and you should check it out. Either way, I'm really stoked that my phone now has a secure VPN and not something using an ancient and broken protocol. But that's my segment to the one there, and I value your feedback. Feedback@hak5.org. Let me know what you think. And in just a bit, Shannon and I are going to be wrapping this up, getting into your questions and some trivia and all that other fun stuff. But first, we're going to take a quick break. Ciao. Budding entrepreneurs, startups, and innovators are all turning their ideas into reality, all backed by the strength of, get this, .NET domain names. .NET are globally known as one of the most popular domain extensions in the world. In fact, it's the third most behind .com and .de. I know, right? Way to go, Germany, huh? And a .NET injects your business with instant credibility. Entrepreneurs and startups are immediately discovering the advantages of building their presence around a .NET domain. And get this, if you already have a .com, why don't you purchase that .NET? It's going to go ahead and protect your online brand, or if the .com that you want is already taken, well, you know, you can always get a .NET. It is a perfect alternative, and you can find a .NET over at domain.com. I know I did. You can check out Darren Kitchen. .NET. Yeah, it's a thing. And I love domain.com because they are totally affordable, they're reliable, they're easy to use. I think .NETs are only like $8.99 a year. And get this, domain.com, they're totally awesome on Twitter, they're fun to drink with, you can tweet them at domain.com, and it just really makes it a fun place to do business. So get this, domain.com guys, they're huge fans of Hak5, which means they're huge fans of you, so they want to hook you up 15% off their already affordable domain names and web hosting. All you have to do is use this coupon code, right? I'm gonna let you guess what it is. It's HAK5, name of the show you're watching. So just in case you came to the wrong place and you're not sure what you're watching Hak5, and domain.com is gonna hook you up. So when you think domain names, think domain.com. Time once again to check port 110.
Yes, it is, Darren. Oh, it's so fun having you back here. Okay, so our first question comes from Charles. He writes, I was wondering what distro and bash colors Darren is using in episode 1225. It looks awesome.
I like the classic colors. They remind me of old school BBS days. A little bit of EGA going on.
Cool.
Basically, I picked up this machine, the most boring and heavy, mind you. I would never bring this again. This is way too heavy. But
that thing's a brick.
Yeah, but this Lenovo for this trip, because it says I am not a hacker. It says I am a very boring person.
You are international businessman.
This laptop says stop me at the border, so that's why. And I'm running Mint 14. As much as Ubuntu, we've had a good time. I'm gonna miss you, Ubuntu, and I know that your friend Mint is very much like you. And sorry, no offense, Mint, actually, but I think you're a stepping stone to maybe Arch. But just gonna throw that out there. But Mint 14 made it very easy to set up Lux full disk encryption, and I'll probably do a segment on this because
that's interesting.
Crossing borders, what you really want is full disk crypto. Even with an SSD, there's ways to make it secure. And I was just very happy with the performance of Mint. So
yeah, I'm kind of surprised that you're using Mint.
No way. It's well, with Cinnamon, it's like Ubuntu back in 10.04 before it got all crappy. You
know, they just released I think 13.04.
Yeah.
It's just starting to come out.
I'm over you. I'm over you, Ubuntu. We had something.
Should I upgrade? Should I upgrade internets?
I don't know. What distro should Shannon rock next? Answer in the comments.
This is
and then fight amongst yourselves.
I can do all of them, or any all at once. Multipass. So, our next question comes from Gigolomaniac. He says, I pass by a few captive portals on my way to work. That can be really annoying because my cell phone always connects to the strongest available Wi-Fi. Is there any way to configure Android devices to connect to certain Wi-Fis only?
Hey, you know what? Be glad you're on Android, not at least iPhone, because I love the way that iOS does this. Whenever there's a access point that it connects to that has a captive portal, for convenience, automatically opens basically a Safari frame, which is so much fun with a pineapple to do like peanut butter jelly time, because it just pops up on their phone, right?
Yeah.
And I see what you're saying. When I set up the captive portal, either using NoDog or using Untangle, it's very convenient that an Android phone will show the little thing at the very top where it's like, sign in here to get access to the Wi-Fi. And it's usually because it does like a DNS query, or it does a ping, or it does something to tell if it's on the internet or if there's a captive portal there, and then gives you the pop-up. Well, the best case is just don't connect at all. And the security model for Android is to automatically connect back to access points that you've connected to previously. So if this is ATT Wi-Fi, for example, here in the United States, or in the UK it was like BT Open Wi-Fi at the Starbucks and things like that, you will by default connect if you don't remember to forget it. And what I mean by that is under settings and then Wi-Fi, you'll see all the access points. You can hold down and say forget this network, and it will not automatically connect next time. It's a manual process that you have to go through, and just like I said, be thankful you're not on iOS, because with iOS devices, they don't even show up unless they're within range.
Yep.
So that means if you've been owned in the past by
you'll get owned again, and then only after you get owned can you forget this network.
Now, when it comes to Android, at least there are some options for managing Wi-Fi connections. In the Google Play Store, you will find Wi-Fi Connection Manager, which allows you to do things like EAP and supports for hidden SSIDs and different kinds of automatically detecting web authentication and stuff. But again, it's one of those things where you just have to be vigilant about forgetting those. And I don't know, maybe somebody should just write an Android app that automatically forgets every network you've ever connected to.
Yeah, go at it.
So that'd be cool. If you're an Android developer, it sounds like it might be an easy one to do, just given the APIs. Again, this is coming right out of my ass because I have no idea. I'm not an Android developer. But if you are, and let us know in the feedback. Email us, feedback@hak5.org. I would love to see something like this come out of it. Yeah.
I would too, actually. Now it's time for the Technolist photo of the week. I'm sure you missed this. So this one comes from Will. He sends us a photo of his Viliv N5. It's very old school, and he says that he can run AirDumpNG, works fine from the kernel. You can send all your photos over to feedback@hak5.org with the subject line Technolist as usual. And we love to check out all the photos. They're so fun.
I love that cute hardware.
Me too. It's so fun.
Yes. All right, question to trivia.
We do,
what is it called? How does the show work again?
So it's called the Trivia, weekly trivia.
Yeah, we've been doing this for a while?
Yeah, we pick a winner and we send them some kind of swag that we get from, like, the conventions that we go to, maybe even stickers that we signed, whatever, what have you, Greg. So last week's question was, what will an open port return from an ACK scan, ACK scan? The answer was RST. Ta-da! Do you know what that stands for?
Reset?
Maybe.
Remember.
Answer over at hak5.org/trivia if you know. Now, okay, so the real question this week is, your target system is behind a firewall. Using HPing2, you craft SYN packets, SYN packets, to send a hop count capable of reaching the host. You then send these packets out with port numbers from 1 to 1024. What action are you currently performing when you do this? You can answer that over at hak5.org/trivia as well, for your chance to win some Hak5 swag and possibly Greg, apparently.
Yeah.
So are you just jealous? Are you jealous of Greg?
I'm jealous of Greg.
Yeah.
It's true.
He is really
He's
cool.
scaly.
He's pretty cool. I won't lie.
All right. Well, with all of that, we remind you that we value your feedback. It helps shape the show, and we've got Technolists in our heart for your email. So send it over to feedback@hak5.org. I promise you I'm going to remember how to do this show by next week.
You've been on vacation for like a month and a half.
It wasn't
It's
vacation, I was
understandable.
working. I went to Hackerspaces.
Yes, you were working, right. So you can expense all of that, right? Your entire trip?
Oh, don't remind me
They're all
about
meetings.
taxes.
Yeah, I just did mine.
Fun.
No fun. And don't forget, you guys can always follow everything that we do over at hak5.org/follow. You can find links to our social networks and what Darren's doing, what kind of hacking trips he is taking.
Oh, and if you like what we're doing, you can support us directly at hakshop.com. That's where we have all sorts of goodies, and we appreciate your support directly of the show.
Tons of awesome goodies. And make sure to check out our new show, ThreatWire. It's all about internet security, the news, and what's going on over there. Threatwire.org will hook you up with the RSS and all the details.
Yes. Oh, and to answer everybody's question about that, it is an exclusive show with YouTube. So
yes,
while there is an RSS feed to get it out of YouTube, there is not a very simple way to get it into your podcasting application like iTunes, if anybody still uses that. But
Though I did just find a MP3 maker for YouTube. You should just plug in the link. Never mind.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
Oh, that'd make an audio
so you
feed
could do
out
like
of
an
it.
audio
I
feed.
found one that would actually make an MP4 out of it, but it requires running a local server, and
Oh,
it's
yeah.
in Java, which is not the
Oh, I
worst,
found
but...
an easy one.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, you should do that on the show.
I can
All
do
right,
that.
Anyway, we're
rambling
what are we
again.
Doing? We're reminding you something. What do we remind them?
We are always, as
Remind me,
usual,
'cause I'm forgetting.
reminding you.
Yes.
Remember, okay? Don't forget to trust what's on here.
Trust?
Your Technolust. Yeah, like a boss.
And then the camera goes up.
Like a boss. I wear your grandpa's clothes. I look incredible.
Let us know if this is the worst episode ever in the comments below. Bye!
I wear your grandpa's clothes. I look incredible.